Is a recurring theme we're hearing that we have to have difficult conversations about race. That can be a really hard thing to do. It can be scary, it can be intimidating. Maybe for some facing a few truths in our family tree we'd rather not. Question is, how do we start?
Let's have a conversation now about the way forward for white people and engaging white people in the race conversation. And I'm joined by two very familiar faces, former Detroit City Councilmember Sheila Cockrell and the head of Focus Hope, Portia Roberson. When you start to expand the conversation out and you start trying to enlist people who maybe, Sheila, haven't been a part of that conversation before, that is where real progress is going to be made, isn't it? It's not among people who talk about race all the time. We got to engage people who don't.
Right, but I think even for people who do talk about race and are comfortable in talking about race, understanding white privilege and systemic institutional racism is bigger than having the kind of conversations about race that we've all had in the past. It really is a hard conversation, I think, for white folks to have. You have people who aren't really successful, who if you say to them, yeah, you got white privilege, their thing will be privilege. I don't have any kind of privilege. I'm working two jobs and I can barely keep above water. So having the structural conversation is something that I frankly don't think any group of white folks are exempt from having to have.
Portia, I know that Sheila feels that if this conversation is comfortable, it's not getting anywhere. I'm going to agree that maybe you feel the same way, Portia. This has to be a difficult conversation to have.
It has to be a difficult conversation. And it is not a conversation where I think too often white folks have felt that we were asking them to take responsibility for something that they didn't want to be responsible for because it didn't happen. They didn't do it. You know, that was my great grandfather that did that. It's not mine. And it's not about us asking for you to say, I'm sorry on their behalf. In fact, I think it's less about that and more about where you are right now and what things have you benefited from that may have happened with your great grandfather that you can actually change now so that it does not continue or you do not continue to feel like we are looking for an apology from you for things that are going to happen 10, 15, 20, 50 years from now.
This conversation has to happen because it is the Achilles heel of the United States of America that there is this unexamined structural racism that's impacted everybody. So there's an investment that needs to be made because it's required.
So how do we engage people to talk about something when it feels nuclear to a lot of white people? Why should I get in that conversation? What's in it for me?
So there's a lot of history learning we need to do. What were we all taught about Reconstruction and Jim Crow? What do we really understand about what happened in our country after the Civil War?
So the zero tolerance that we've kind of arrived at, is that, would you say, yeah, it's about time, or is that going a little too far?
Well, I mean, I think zero tolerance for the N-word. I personally have enforced that when my daughter was younger, with she and her friends, both black and white. That term is not going to be used in my car, in my presence. So I don't condone the notion of there's a familiar way for black folks to use that term that's okay and that white folks shouldn't. Nobody should use it because it's got a particular history.
I agree with Sheila. I don't think there's a context for it in any capacity. I think it's too weighted a word for people to try to use it in an educational sense and not understand that there's going to be some pushback, that there's going to be some questioning of why you needed to use the word in its full context in order to get your point across.
But I also wonder then about the I guess we'll call it the chilling effect on other people. And as I said earlier, whether they feel like they ought to be wading in on this conversation or better to sit it out. And what happens if white people sit out the conversation? I think that's kind of where we are today, isn't it?
I think for a lot of white folks, the first step would simply be, if you're nominally conscious, is that when somebody in your presence starts with some of the stereotypical language, to simply say, I don't want to hear it. Don't talk like that in front of me. That takes a lot of personal courage to get to the point of being willing to acknowledge that you're hearing racist language and that you're not going to give it a pass is a huge step.
We have a long way to go. And we've been talking about these issues for a long time, and things things move forward and then they move back. So do I think that progress is continuous and that we're going to keep getting in a better position? No, I think we're going to go forward and then we're going to go back. We saw Barack Obama and then we had Donald Trump. So we know we take 4 steps forward, we take 2 steps back, we got to take another 6 forward to get to where we were going, you know? And I think that's going to continue to happen. But I again think that these conversations are about how do we get along individually, but it is the larger conversation is about getting white folks to realize how they have benefited from so many of the structural things that this country was built upon and how it continues to benefit them in ways that they may not be conscious of on a regular basis.
You know, there was so much more to my conversation with both Portia and Sheila, and you can watch it all on our website at clickondetroit.com.